Hi! Okay, so welcome back to my channel. I'm Becca, and today we have a very casual video planned. This video is going to be full of chaotic energy, so you can just expect that. Starting with me not knowing where my phone is, which is a thing that has been happening lately. Every single time I try to do something that I need my phone, I end up not having it, so 1 second. Okay, got my phone. So today we're going to be doing a bit of a Q&A video. I've been gathering questions from my Instagram over the last couple of chatty Instagram days. Like, there was a few days where I just felt chatty, so I asked you guys if you had any questions or whatever it may be, and yeah, you guys had some questions. Normally I don't do Q&A videos unless I have like plants to repot, and then I was thinking, like, that's so limiting. I hate repotting plants. Okay, actually no, that's not true. I do like repotting plants. It's just right now I'm in a phase where I don't like it, and I put off repotting. So yeah, we're not getting any Q&A videos lately and like just chatting, and it's been a lot of formal videos where business Becca has come around and she's just kind of taken over. So with all of that being said, we're just gonna get into it. So with me, I have candy corn because 'tis the season. I'm so excited that it's finally fall, and when I move, it's gonna be extra fall. So definitely like real fall for the first time in my life. Yeah, usually I have to drive up to the mountains to get some real fall, but now I don't have to. I screenshotted quite a few. Some of them it's gonna be like rapid fire. And while I do this, I'm gonna be putting on some temporary tats. So this is some temporary tats, some Planty temporary tats I got from Nature Tats on Etsy. Let me show you all of them. Here's another one. This is just some like lavender sprigs. I have some monsteras. And then I have like a whole desert scene, which I want to utilize this entire thing, probably just like on my arm, like have like a sleeve of sorts. So that's really exciting. I got 2 of those because I figured I would like to have it again in the future. So anyway, that's what's going on right now with the tats situation. I got those because I thought that I wanted a tattoo. I've been thinking about getting a tattoo of a saguaro to sort of commemorate me leaving here, my home, this place that, you know, saguaro only grow in this region that I grew up in. So they're very special to me for a lot of reasons, and that is one of them. So I thought about getting not a monstera. I thought about getting a saguaro tattoo, but I don't know if I actually will. I was thinking I would get like a big one on my forearm, but it would be like the first real tattoo I have ever gotten. I do have a tattoo on my foot right here that is pretty inconspicuous, and no one ever really knows about it unless they look really closely at my feet, which does not happen. So candy corn and candy pumpkins. Who loves the candy pumpkins? Let's get some love for the candy pumpkins here. I might like these more than the candy corns. Let's start out making my sleeve. I want to do that. Okay, but question. Okay, here we go. What will you miss most about Tucson, and what are you most excited about in your new home? And someone else asked me, you know, are you sad to be leaving Tucson, because it doesn't really seem like you're sad. So I'm going to combine those questions and say, so what I'm going to miss most about Tucson is mostly just like, honestly, like the heat. I know I love to complain about how hot it is, but I really do enjoy the heat. I like the way it feels. It's kind of like, would I rather be cold or would I rather be hot? I think I'd rather be in like a really hot place rather than a really cold place, because at least in a really cold, or sorry, at least in a really hot place I can like jump in water and feel much better. Maybe that's just because that's all I've experienced and been around, but in any case, that is usually my preference. Okay, if I'm remembering correctly, let's see. So you put it on your skin, clean dry skin free of oils and makeup. Yep. Dry hands, peel off the clear protective, press the design face down on your skin, and hold a wet cloth on it for a full 30 seconds. Okay, I can do that. Hold on, I might need to do some thinking here with this. It might require a little bit of brain power here. I have my wet rag, which is really just a crochet thing that Daniel's grandma made for us, which is very cute. Anyway, so yeah, I'm definitely gonna miss the heat. I'm also going to miss the saguaros, like I said. That's probably like a major one. And above all, my parents, sister, and all my best friends live here. So it's really sad to be leaving. I feel like it's kind of rare to live near so many of your really good friends for so long, but you know, a lot of my friends have moved and come back, and we're finally in a place where we're all here, and then now I'm the one that's leaving. So it's just really sad in that regard, and I wish that I could bring them all with me. To the question asking if I'm sad because I don't seem like I am, I definitely am, and it's been a really hard couple of months mental health wise, to be quite honest with you guys. It's been really difficult, but you know, I'm trying to see the positive. I'm trying to be, I don't know, positive, I guess, because I am really sad to be leaving everyone. And if I think about it too much and like everything that is gonna happen because of that, like I'm so worried about making new friends, and I'm so worried that like my friendships here will be hurt by me being gone. Like I have a lot of anxiety surrounding the move. So I mean, I never want it to seem like that isn't the truth, like there isn't any anxiety surrounding the move, because there is, but I also don't really feel super comfortable being like, hey guys, like this is really hard for me all the time, you know what I mean? So I can say that it is really sad and really hard to think about leaving, but I'm trying to be positive about it, you know? Okay, plant question. What was your gateway plant that got you started, and is that plant still alive? So my gateway plant was a basil plant, and I had that basil plant for a really long time, I guess, for like beginner plant standards. So I think I had it for about a year, and I got the basil plant because I was in Italy for, I don't know, like I guess a total of 6 weeks, and I loved all the food. Obviously, I love Italian food, but like real authentic Italian food is just ridiculously good. It's like stupid good. Also, I think I can take this off now, but I'm kind of nervous. I'm like going back to when I was a kid, and I was so afraid to take these off too soon, but let's see. Oh my gosh, this is so cute! Okay, I think it'll be fine. The coyote is looking good. Let's see if I can like in any way show this so that you guys can see it too. Nope, not really. Ooh! Check out my nature tat. I love it. Okay, so it needs to dry a bit, but oh my gosh, I kind of like the idea of seeing the tattoos on my skin. I don't hate it. Anyway, so what was the question? I forgot. Oh yeah, so the basil plant, and it's not with me anymore. When I moved to the place that I was living when I started this channel, it was that really small studio. It did not make it, which was really sad, but you know, I know that I could definitely grow herbs again, so it's something that I can revisit. Okay, a bunch of people asked me how old I am and just some general like information if you're just meeting me. So obviously my name is Becca. You know, I'm from Tucson, moving to Columbia, and I'm 24 years old. I used to be a teacher, so I get a lot of questions about that because I was pretty open about the fact that I was a teacher when I first started my channel, and then I'm not a teacher anymore. So sometimes that can be confusing when people find my channel and they are teachers and they're like, so glad to find another teacher, and I'm like, I'm not a teacher anymore, but so that was that. And then after I was a teacher, I moved on, and now I work as a marketing coordinator at my current employer, which is Mod Ventures, which is an outsourced accounting and advisory firm, which is very fun. And then I also do daily plants, half-time, part-time, and I do make income off of this, but it's not enough to be like fully substantial for my life. So maybe someday that would be really great. That is a goal of mine, I guess. It's kind of like a pipe dream at this point, but I think I'll get there. I don't know if I want to do any of these other nature tats, although this one, the website photo had the nature tat like on the hand, kind of like this. I think I want to try that with just one of these. Oh, and to finish up the general information about me, I am married. I got married in June 2019 to my husband, Daniel. He pops on sometimes, but not often. Okay, next question. What are some of your favorite books? Oh my gosh, it's really difficult for me to say like my absolute favorite books, but I have shared in a previous Q&A, I believe, some favorite books that I had. But I think I said Yo by Julia Alvarez, which is a wonderful book. Julia Alvarez is actually one of my favorite authors. I was introduced to her in college, and she is incredible. I also like Volkswagen Blues, which is another book that I was introduced to in college. I actually read it twice in college and like probably 3 times since I've graduated. And then let me tell you, this book that I recently read is called The Silent Patient, and it was so good. Like, listen to this. I read about 80% of the book, because I read it on my e-reader, so it told me what percentage I was in within the first 2 days of having it. And then I was like, whoa, 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 like I really need to calm down. That's a bit fast. So yeah, I slowed down, but I just finished it the other day, and man, that book was so good. Man, I love this. I just keep looking down. It looks so good. This question says, let's celebrate personal growth like we do with new leaves. How have you grown in 2020 so far? So in 2020, I think that I've kind of let go of my need to control everything. And that isn't to say that I'm like not a person who needs to control everything anymore. I definitely am. I am incredibly sad that I can't like do any sort of traveling right now, and I have like no control over that. It's been really sad. Like Daniel and I like to go on, you know, an international trip every year, and I think that this time not traveling has sort of, I don't know, encouraged me to think about why I do enjoy traveling and why that's important for me, so that I'm not just doing it to do it, like I have a purpose behind it. I like having a purpose behind the things that I do, and for me, like traveling is just such a beautiful way to connect with other languages and people from other cultures. And I think when I travel in the future, I want it to be much less like me-centered and more them-centered. But what else have I learned? Like I said, mental health has been really difficult in the last couple of months. So I did start going to therapy, and I had a pretty weird view of therapy. Like going into it, I wasn't sure if it would be good. I had kind of a negative experience when I went to therapy in high school. And so when I started a couple months ago, I did not know what to expect, and it has been amazing. Like my therapist is awesome, and it's been so good to just like have someone to talk to about those types of things that are completely detached from everything else in my life. But I felt like I could talk about, you know, the really hard things in my life without it feeling like really repetitive. So that's been really helpful. I think that in 2020, I've realized like how important it is to have that, like to have, you know, relationships where you can talk to people about anything without that judgment. And it's not that I thought people in my life would judge me. It's just this like horrible character flaw that I feel like no one really cares what's going on in my life. I don't know, it's a problem, but therapy has been really helping. Another deep question, but what do you think the world will be like in 20 years? This is really hard. And all I have to say is that I hope that it's a better place. I hope that things are moving and like progressively getting better. I hope that equality is something that everyone experiences, and I don't know, like I hope that we still have beautiful trees and forests and like all of these things, you know, if things, I don't know, it's really difficult. But I guess my life specifically in 20 years feels a lot like smaller to talk about, which is a little bit more comfortable. But I mean, in 20 years, I'll be 40. Okay, I had to switch out my memory card, but since my camera is close to me, I want to show you how this one turned out. It looks really cute. I did kind of botch it on the side. You can see right there. I think I moved it at some point when I was coming on, but I like it. And here's this one up close. It's kind of difficult to show, but yeah, it looks really cute. I love it. I think that's all I'm gonna do for temporary tats as of right now, but I loved that. I still have my Adansonii monstera. And yeah, that'll do for now on that. But I do still have some questions I wanted to answer. Ooh, there we go. I think that was similar angle. But yeah, like I was saying, my life in 20 years, oops, I'll be like 45. So I'm thinking that I will have finished having all my kids. I don't know how many I'm gonna have, or if that'll even, I mean, we don't really know what our bodies are gonna allow. So hopefully I have kids by then. I would like 2 to 4 kids. I'm not really sure. We will see how things go, but I have really no idea what my life is going to look like at that point, which is kind of exciting because things could change at any time. And I don't know. I think after I graduated from college and experienced some heartbreak, I realized that it's not always the best for me to try to plan my life out like years and years in advance, because then I have this like big 5 to 10 year plan that I'm the only one who could actually make it happen, when in reality, like there's so many factors that go into your life changing. Like I was not expecting to meet my husband when I did, and that like drastically shifted my plan, you know, the plan that I thought that I had at the time before I met him. So I'm just sort of learning to roll with the punches a little bit more and be more of a person who's like spontaneous, and that's usually not the person that I am. So, okay, plant related question. Do you ever go through periods of being over your plants? Any tips for dealing with it? Absolutely. There are many times throughout the year, throughout the months that I'm like, oh, I'm so over this. I can't believe that I have this many plants. this sucks, it's so much responsibility. And in those moments, I get rid of some plants for starters. And not to say that this happens to me like every week or something, but there are times when it happens. And yeah, I just get rid of some plants, or I honestly just like take some time to myself to like not take care of plants. And it's so nice. Like, as I said in my, lessons I've learned from my plants video, our plants will be okay if we kind of neglect them for a little bit. If they die, they die. It's not the only one of that plant that exists in the world. Like, it might suck if that plant was really expensive, so maybe don't do it with your expensive plants that you feel would really suck to lose. But I mean, it's definitely okay to take some me time in the midst of the plant journey. I actually think that's like really important and like an integral part of being a longtime plant owner, because you could get burnt out on plants very easily. So I don't want to burn out on plants, so I give myself the space to like not like plants sometimes and just be over it, because those times when I'm like super into plants, it's so much better because yeah, I've given myself that time. Okay, so this question I really wanted to address. How do you make Planty friends? I'm 15 and it seems like there are only adults in the community, which I think for the most part, it probably is adults. And I would say maybe try connecting with your school community garden, because a lot of schools do have a community garden set up and they usually use it in like the SPED programs and stuff like that. But if you could volunteer with the garden or something like that, the school that I taught at actually had a community garden, which was really awesome. And they did use it for the SPED program, but you could volunteer with them and possibly bring in some of your friends, because gardening is a really great way to get into plants, because you're eating the thing that you're growing, so there's a little bit more of a, I don't know, like instant gratification. Like vegetables do tend to grow a little bit faster than houseplants anyway, so we figured that out in my starting plants from seed video. That was very apparent to me. I think also TikTok has a plant community, and TikTok audience is generally much younger, so maybe you can see if you can get embedded in the TikTok plant community if you are looking for people like in their teens or something into plants. And lastly, I would say try to encourage your friends to get into plants too, because I'm sure that you have some friends who are not into plants, and it might be really fun for you guys to bond over that and, I don't know, try getting into plants together. Okay, what did you go to school for and what did you want to do for a career when you were younger? So I went to school for English. I went to school actually to be a high school English teacher, or just like secondary education teacher in general. I, from a very young age, knew that that's what I wanted to do, and that is what I did for a year. And I would be lying if I said I didn't think about going back to that. Like, could that happen for me again someday? Absolutely. I have a really, really big heart for teaching. I don't know if that's gonna be something that happens for me in the next 5 to 10 years. Like I said, I don't know. I don't want to plan my life out that far, but what I'm really interested in, and part of my degree was also in linguistics, and so what I'm most interested in is second language acquisition. So I have been in situations where I have taught, English as a second language or tutored ESL students, and that was probably like the most fun I've ever had in like a work setting. I think that that was so fulfilling and so fun, and I just love language so much. I think that it is the most interesting thing ever. So yeah, I think that would be like, that's why I went to school. Like, that's what I wanted to do, and I've really been led down this like completely different path, which is very interesting how life happens. But when I was a kid, I wanted to be an actress, which makes sense because now I have a YouTube channel. Like, I would consider myself an introvert, but I'm not a shy person. I'm pretty good at like forcing myself to do things if it really needs to be done, and like I've never really been afraid to go up on stage and speak in front of people. I mean, sometimes I get nervous, but it's never like crippling for me. So that was sort of something that I like battled with in like realizing that I am an introvert, because I was like, how could I possibly be an introvert if I'm not shy? But I mean, not all introverts are shy. I mean, most are probably, but not all. And a lot of plant people are introverts. So very interesting thing there. But yeah, wanted to be an actress. I also wanted to be a lawyer for a little bit, and then I wanted to be a teacher. So that's what my, younger me aspirations were. What do you miss most about pre-COVID times? Traveling. I think that goes without saying, just with what I've talked about in this video. I miss traveling. I miss just being able to like book a ticket and go and not have to worry about anything. And it makes me sad how COVID has been handled in the US, because it means that a lot of countries aren't opening their borders to the US, but they're opening up to other countries. I completely understand. It just sucks. What was your initial reaction when you found out you'd be moving to Como? To be honest, okay, well, actually let me like replay the scene of what happened. So basically with my husband's job, we, you know, made a list of places we wanted to move and they told us where we were going to move. So we had a little bit of control, but not a ton. And we knew that his family lives closer to Columbia, Missouri than, you know, other places on the list. So we wanted to move there. That was like our top pick. So we did get our top pick and Daniel was really happy. So I was laying in bed peacefully sleeping. And then one morning he just like walks around the house and he goes, woo! It like, my eyes like shot open like this. And I was like, what is going on? And he's like, we got Columbia, baby. And I was like, okay, good night. So he was obviously really happy to be closer to his family and his friends, which is so sweet because he's been away from his family for so long. But my first pick was actually Columbia, South Carolina, because yeah, South Carolina is like a pretty ideal place to live. In my opinion, you have the coast and you also have like a little bit of like a wooded area, which is perfect, but obviously we got something else. But I'm really happy to be moving to Columbia. I honestly was really hesitant to be happy about moving there until I actually visited in July. And then I saw it and I was like, okay, yeah, I could definitely do this. I'm fine. It's so green. Like the fact that it's so green is like a very redeeming quality. But like in general, and I mean no hate when I say this at all because I'm moving there and I'm excited to move there, but like finding out that you're moving to Missouri is not exactly like the most exciting thing, at least for me. But once I went there, I think there's a lot of like misconceptions about what Missouri is like. And once I went there, I mean, I really felt like all of those misconceptions were dispelled and I am very happy to be moving there now. So anyway, there are a few other moving questions in here. A bunch of people were wondering if I was going to do a moving with my houseplants video, and absolutely I will be doing that. I think that that is an essential part of moving. If you have houseplants, like you have to do it. So I will be sharing that, and I am actually like getting a little bit stressed out looking around at my plants and seeing how many I have and trying to figure out like how I will get them from here to there. And I have some plans. I will definitely be sharing them with you, but in essence, we're going to get a small U-Haul trailer and we have some crates, like stackable crates that Adam gave me. So I'm gonna put my smaller plants in that. Smaller, more sensitive plants will go in my car, and then the bigger, hardier ones will go in the U-Haul, and then also like a bunch of my plant stuff will go in there as well. So I think it'll be fine, but I do need to downsize my collection a bit before that happens so that I'm not like drowning in plants. Okay, if you could make any plant easier, which would it be? Honestly, I think any calathea I would like to be a lot easier because I love calathea, but I don't have them because they are a little bit more difficult, especially in the conditions that I've been living in. But when I move, that might change. So I might try out calathea a little bit more. I do have a calathea herbifolia, which has actually been reclassified as like a Gabbertia herbifolia. Like it's not a calathea anymore. So yeah, I've kept that one alive for a while, but that's the only Calathea marantisiae plant that I have. Okay, I'm popping over to my YouTube, you know, Q&A thing that I posted, and I'm gonna just like rapid fire through some of these. So what would you say are the best low humidity plants overall? I'm tired of seeing crispy edges. I am with you on that. Pothos are really awesome. Most philodendron don't need a lot of humidity, like not like the philodendron melanochrysum or like philodendron mame or something like that, but like the upright philodendrons like philodendron hastatum, philodendron, you know, Congo rojo, philodendron Birkin. I don't think that those ones need a ton of humidity. Like they're probably happy with like 30 to 40%, which is usually what your house sits at. My house sits at about 35% humidity, which is pretty low, but inside of my greenhouse is much higher. And other than that, like, I don't know, Monstera adansonii does really well with lower humidity. Syngonium does well with lower humidity. Syndapsis does well with lower humidity. So there's a lot. Every plant would benefit from humidity, but there are some that just like don't necessarily need it. So I would say those ones are the ones that just like sit out in my home. Oh, Monstera deliciosa doesn't need a lot of humidity either. How and when could a person transplant from leca back to soil? So I get a lot of questions about leca, and I just wanted to be known that I don't have any plants in leca, and I don't really plan on having plants in leca. So just so we know, I don't know anything about leca, but I believe that roots that are made in a leca situation are water roots. So I mean, there are roots and you could plant it back into soil theoretically whenever you wanted. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter. Okay, I have some questions from Planty with Ash, which is one of my favorite people in the plant community. And she said, are you afraid of change kind of gal, or let's dive into something new gal? And I think that I'm a combination of both. Like, I am a little bit afraid of change, but once it's actually happening, I feel like, okay, I can do this. Sometimes the change needs to be done for me, like I need to be forced to do it, and then I'm totally fine. And other times, I guess it just depends on what it is. But on the regular, I'm okay with change. It's just some things I'm not. Okay, this question I think is an interesting one because it says, how do you juggle watering to make sure you do not kill any of your plants? I'm struggling with only 25 plants to keep them all watered. So I think that each person has a different plant capacity. And so for me, my capacity is probably like 100 plants, and I'm a little bit over capacity right now, to be honest with you. You kind of have to figure out what your capacity is for the amount of time you're able to put into the hobby, and then don't exceed that. So if it means one plant in, one plant out type of thing, like if you want to keep shopping, you know, just make sure you give away a plant before you bring in a new one. I think that's a really great way to combat all of that. And then also set your plants up in zones so that you are not watering all of them on the same day. That has been really, really helpful, and that kind of just happened naturally for me. So I am doing watering, like I'd say 2 or 3 times a week, but in different sections of my home, so that I'm not watering like all 150 on the same day. I think that's a really great way to, you know, kind of keep it all under control. Okay, so I think that is all I have to say for this Q&A. There were some really awesome questions in here, so thank you guys for giving me these questions. So if you are interested in seeing my life from a more personal perspective, you like videos like this, I have a, I guess like a vlog channel or just my lifestyle channel where I share more about my life behind the plants and other than plants, because I have a lot of other hobbies and things that I'm interested in. And yeah, if you are interested in any of that, I do some sewing and thrifting and just daily vlogs. Well, not daily vlogs, but some weekly vlogs over there, and I think you might like it if you enjoyed these like more casual, fun, unplanned videos, because that channel is a little bit more unplanned. Okay, so if you are interested in these tats, again, nature tats, not sponsored, but you know, sometimes it's fun to have some new things in our lives, and so I got some nature tats on me, and I hope that you enjoyed watching this video. I just want to keep showing them on camera. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have any additional questions, you can leave them in the comments down below and I will see if I can get to them. I am trying really hard to still get to all my comments, but it is getting a little bit more difficult because the channel is growing, which is definitely a good thing. So anyway, with that being said, I will do my best to get to all of your questions if you leave any in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!